Good afternoon. So my name is Sumi Mazzarolo, and I am honored, surprised, but honored to be speaking here today. And when Cindy asked me initially to speak, she suggested that I focus on the journey that I've taken here with the Leadership Institute and the impact that it's had on me. So I plan to do just that. And just like Javier, Cindy suggested or offered me the opportunity to use slides, and how I interpreted that was you should use slides. So I, unlike my two other colleagues, do have slides. So if I can figure out how to get them launched, I will start. I hope you can see, it's just pictures, so nothing you really have to read. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay. So in the 1970s, two psychologists from Rhode Island introduced us to the stages of change model. And it's basically a theory that proposes that behavior change does not happen in one step, but instead is a series of stages that we progress through. So I figured I would give you all a glimpse of the stages of change that I went through as a part of this Leadership Institute. And to make it more personal and hopefully a little bit more interesting, what I decided to do was illustrate each of those stages with a picture from one of my skiing adventures, which, as many of my colleagues know, is another big passion of mine. So the first stage is called pre-contemplation. And this stage is best summarized by the phrase, ignorance is bliss. So I took this picture after I hiked up to the top of a peak at the Canyons Resort in Utah with my husband. And the goal of the hike was that we would get a beautiful view, no people around, and have some pristine snow conditions. What I did not expect was to see this group of signs standing at the top of the peak, which you actually have to walk past in order to get to the skiable terrain. And I remember thinking to myself that I was feeling certainly quite anxious, but I had wondered, what exactly did I get myself into? And this was very much the similar feeling that I had to when I entered the orientation process of the Leadership Institute. I remember sitting in the hall while we were introducing ourselves, thinking, what am I doing here with all of these other very accomplished people? And I had the same impression. What have I gotten myself into? So on top of it all, I was 8 months pregnant, which only added to my anxiety levels. But I got beyond that stage, and I entered the second stage of change, which is that of contemplation. And during the contemplation stage, we essentially are weighing the benefits and the risks of the decision that we made to make the change, much like my brother and my husband are doing in this picture. So I took this as we were contemplating whether or not we should take this somewhat steep and difficult run, especially given the miserable visibility conditions we had that day. Now, the risks and benefits we were weighing at that time had to do more with the risk of being called a chicken in front of, your husband and your brother. So naturally, we did take that challenge over the benefits of bodily preservation. It came out okay. But during this period in the Leadership Institute, I got to get a really good look at myself from a variety of different perspectives. I underwent a leadership assessment potential form, a 360-degree evaluation, and a learning connections inventory. And all of this taught me a lot about myself from a lot of different perspectives. And it was more than just reaffirming what I already knew to be my strengths and weaknesses. Instead, it was a tool that I was able to use to make my strengths into skills and to overcome weaknesses, or at least know how to shore up the resources that I have to overcome the deficiencies that I have. So the rewards of participating in this Leadership Institute became so evident to me, and it definitely outweighed any costs, be it time and energy. And so it solidified the commitment I made to participate. So with the commitment made, I entered the following change, which is that of preparation. And in this stage, we've made the commitment to change, and we enter a tactical planning phase, which is best summarized by Sun Tzu, that we assess the terrain. So I wasn't exactly sure what picture I should use to illustrate this stage. So when it came to assessing the terrain, I found this picture, which I took in Crested Butte, Colorado. This was during the Winter X Games there, so a lot of extreme skiing going on, and so I went up into this area with my brother, the Spellbound Bowl, a great skiable area, and there was this new sign there. And the orange sign, for those who can't see, shows a variety of explosive devices which are normally used for avalanche control. And what the words below it say is that you may encounter these explosive devices, and please do not attempt to retrieve them. As if that's something that would be, on my radar. And so, again, I had never experienced this on the terrain of my skiing before, so I thought this slide would be appropriate. Now, in this part with the Leadership Institute as well, I was introduced to the personal strategy map, which has become a really incredible tool for me. Filling out this personal strategy map really forced me to identify what my vision was and to specify specifically which values are important to me. And in doing this as well, I was able to again reiterate what my strengths were, identify what those areas of improvement that I have may be, and from that I was able to differentiate the skills that I have that make me unique and apply them in order to accomplish my vision. It also gave me a mechanism by which to plot out which steps need to be taken in order for me to accomplish my vision and to track the progress, if any, that I'm able to make towards that goal. So I really found this to be an incredible tool, and it's really helped to continue to be useful to me, because for every decision or opportunity that I'm presented with, I can go back to this tool and say, well, is this going to help me really achieve my goal, and how much time and energy should I devote to that task in order to accomplish that vision of mine? So it's continued to serve as a living document for me. I'm constantly editing it, and I feel that it reflects the values and the mission and the personal growth that I achieve, especially over the course of these last 18 months. So now equipped with this valuable tool, I enter my current stage, which is that of action. So action is just exactly what it says. It's just us actually practicing the behaviors and the skills that we've been learning. And that's what I'm doing here. This is a run called Lover's Leap. It's in Vail, Colorado. It's one of my favorite runs. It starts off, it's really steep, and then it opens up in this wide open valley and then ends in this glade tree run area, and it's just spectacular. So I thought I would put that up there. Through the 18-month journey in the Leadership Institute, I have a new awareness that everyone, regardless of their title or their position, can be a leader. And by that I mean that they can make a difference, that it's truly a personality issue and has nothing to do with your rank. I have let this concept permeate all the arenas of my life, and it has translated into me empowering my patients more, into modeling the ideals and behaviors that I want to see in my students and residents, communicating more effectively with my peers, and hopefully being a more attentive wife and mother. No comments from the peanut gallery. I've also developed more courage as a result of this program and feel better about taking risks and having the strength to fall short of my goals. I've come to appreciate the learning opportunities inherent in both my successes as well as my failures. I also have a clearer vision for my goals now and have even given thought to the legacy that I wish to leave behind, and that is something I can honestly say I had never thought about before. In residency, right or wrong, Stuart, we do follow the dictum of see one, do one, and teach one when we're learning a new skill. I have seen and worked with a variety of great leaders, many of whom are here today. And I'm currently doing my part to fulfill my leadership potential. What I look forward to is the opportunity to teach others how to become effective leaders. I want to use the opportunities I have to invest in the growth of patients, students, residents, and colleagues that I work with, to help them realize their true potential and the capacity they have to effect meaningful change. I want to give them the tools to formulate a clear image of their aspired future and feel that there is absolutely nothing that they can't accomplish. I want to help them tap into their courage so that they too can achieve growth and then help others to do so, much the way Cindy and Lou and Mo have done for me. So I enter the final phase soon, which is that of maintenance. And the final stage represents a continued commitment to sustaining one's newly learned behavior. This is a picture that my husband took as we were hiking up to an area called the Head Wall in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I selected this picture because, to me, it comes full circle. And not just because we, again, neglected to use the convenient chairlifts, but because it's the beginning of another new adventure where we do not know what lies ahead. I know that completing this course is just the beginning process, and that many more achievements, failures, and opportunities for growth await us all. As a result of this program, I have been forced to look at where I have been, where I am, and where I am going. I have come to learn that all of us are accountable for the leadership that we demonstrate, and that this is both an opportunity as well as a burden. I choose to see it as an opportunity, and I know that I can make a difference. So I would just like to conclude with a quote from John Quincy Adams, who said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader." I just want to tell all of you here graduating and celebrating with me today that you have made me dream more, do more, and become more. So in my eyes, you are all great leaders. Thank you so much, and congratulations.